Hey everyone, something a bit different. We're taking out a Tiger 1050. Never ridden one of these before, so it should be interesting. Oh, she's a long way up. These are meant to be amazing. So this wouldn't be a Roads of Oz video without me having to redo the audio, because the audio played up on the trip, and this video just no different. So let's get into it. So I rode the 1050 through the town centre of Mudgee, just getting familiar with it. As I said earlier, it's quite a large bike. It's quite tall, so if you're a short person, probably not the best bike for you. I'm not really going to do a video looking at what it's like in regular traffic, because I just didn't get the opportunity to try that for a long period of time. This review will be wholly and solely of me riding the bike out in the open, and that's exactly what this bike is designed to do. Now this is a 2007 model. These models run for a few years and they are ridiculously cheap. Prices for these started at about $5,500. So don't be surprised to find 40,000, 50,000 Ks. The lower kilometre ones will command more money. Doesn't mean they're not necessarily better, it just means more desirable to those people out there. So these bikes are very comfy. Instrumentation is typical for Triumph of the era. It looks exactly the same as the old Street Triple and Speed Triple Dash. Does a good enough job, nice clear speedometer, good tachometer. That's pretty much all you need. And I believe there's also a fuel gauge there as well. All right, known issues with these bikes. They do have a faulty clutch system. They can get a broken head gasket, faulty master cylinder, recurring gearbox issues, and uncomfortable seating posture. Now, I can verify that last one without any doubt. After 15 minutes in the seat of this bike, I started to feel a tad bit uncomfortable. Now, one of my recommendations with just about any bike you can do a lot of kilometres on is get a better seat. And this bike is definitely no different. After a while, I got used to it. It wasn't too bad, but still I would highly recommend getting a better seat. For those riders over the 90 kilogram mark, definitely get the suspension looked at. They say some of the discomfort from the seat comes from the suspension. That wouldn't surprise me, so definitely get the suspension tuned to your weight, especially because you're going to be carrying luggage. Now, while we're on luggage, make sure the bike comes with the hard panniers. Don't let whoever's got the bike keep those. You really need them. They're perfect for the bike, and you'll be a fan. You're able to lock stuff up in them. So much easier than worry about having them in a gear sack or a Ventura rack or any other sort of soft luggage. Being able to lock your luggage up is a beautiful thing, especially if you want to explore the town. Now, I got to test this bike in its element on the highway, and at all the speeds, it done it beautifully. Now, if you're used to a twin cylinder bike, it will feel like it's revving a touch high, but that's just a side effect of being used to more of a V-twin. They'll rev a bit lower, but the Triumph motor is quite a beautiful thing, and if you really want to push it, it will just sing along beautifully. The model I'm riding had about 30,000 kilometres on it. It was owned by a much older gentleman, and here's a little story for you. Just because the rider is old, don't think they won't push that bike. This guy was in his late 60s and he left me for dead on multiple occasions. So who is this bike for? Well, honestly, if you're trying to get into a bit of touring, you like that very upright position, it's definitely a good entry-level bike. It's affordable, it's a well-known brand, Triumph. They've been making these bikes for a number of years now. The 1050 motor isn't a bad thing, even with the well-documented issues. it's something you're quite happy to take the risk with, especially for what they're asking for it. Similar vehicles like the BMWs, the Ducatis, are 2 to 3 times the amount these bikes are commanding. Also, there's plenty of them out there. Parts aren't a problem. Triumph supports these bikes fairly well from what I can see, and you will get a lot of enjoyment out of it. For the taller guys out there, this is definitely one bike for you. Even I had to stretch hopping on and off it, but it was a nice comfy upright position. Leg position is really good. Like I said earlier, if you're a bit shorter, probably not the best bike for you. If you're after a Triumph, I'd suggest the ST1050. It's more of a sports tourer, a bit lower to the ground, same great Triumph motor. And pretty much the reason the ST1050 died out was due to these Tigers, because everyone wanted adventure tourers. So how did it handle? Well, it handled quite well through the bends. Once you get used to the height, you're able to chuck this thing into corners quite comfortably, and it holds the line beautifully. Like I said earlier, probably get the suspension adjusted if you're slightly heavier, say above the 90 kilo mark. But I rode this in its standard trim and it held up quite nicely. I was able to throw it through the bends. Towards the end there, I was getting very confident with it. It was just such a nice bike to ride. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. I did enjoy the bike. Excellent entry level if you're looking at some sort of sports tourer. Not so much an adventure tourer, for the simple fact I don't think you'd do any serious off-road. Nothing more than a gravel road, and pretty much little more than what you take your standard road bike across. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you found the video interesting, please like, share, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next vid.